We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
I can't help, but I have an unhealthy cathexis with this show.
Well,
I'm
I was
telling
just
you.
going to say the hour is nigh.
Well, the 45 minutes is nigh.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of which,
screw it up?
7:06.
51.
No. Wow.
51, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm just going with that for the moment.
Oh, isn't it
So
45, 50?
you're not going to question that word I threw out there?
The Nexus?
Cathexis.
Cathexis.
Yeah.
Cathexis. Catheter is a
Exactly.
and the cross. It's the cross of the catheters. Cathexis. Cathartic. It feels good. It's the cross point where things feel good and feels bad.
Is that the cathexis? I said I have an unhealthy cathexis with this show.
It's a sadistic love affair.
Do you want to ask the intern, or
I-
do you want me just to tell you?
I was trying for Boulder Dash Championship. Is it cathexis?
Yeah.
Alexa, define cathexis.
Cathexis is usually defined as the investment of emotional significance in an activity, object, or idea. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for cathexis.
Is that the one you liked?
It was close. The concentration of mental energy on one particular person, idea, or object, and then in parentheses, especially to an unhealthy degree.
Oh, so it's buying in, but twisted. Speaking
Yeah,
of twisted,
yeah,
go ahead.
Twisted tea.
Oops.
No,
Wait a minute. I got to pour the head down the middle. Remember what we learned? We've always tilted the glass to get the head.
When did we learn anything different?
Well, I'm going down the middle so that the off gassing, we actually get the head, and we experience.
I wish we got the.
Well, we experience some off gassing, and that way you don't have the bloating. I've learned it the other way around. Well, oh, sorry.
Well, because we always want to maximize the beer yield in the glass.
Yeah,
So we
that's the
poured it
same.
against the edge to keep I wanted the off gases, Dave, personally.
You wanted the head.
Yeah. What, you don't like head? It's too
Not
easy.
answering that.
So anyhow, on that word cathexis, the sample, oddly enough, the sample sentence was, during his week visiting us in Florida, our grandson developed a cathexis with a gecko who lived on our porch. And why is that so poignant, Dave?
Because you have unhealthy relationships with lizards.
With lizards? No, I was in Florida this past week.
Yeah, that's right. How is Mums?
I waved to you. Did you see it?
Yeah, well, no.
I asked the pilot to honk.
Oh, you flew down.
Yeah. And boy, are my arms tired.
Did you take that new Delta ride?
What's that?
You're
flipping flapjacks, whatever you sent me.
That was the worst.
It was. It wasn't even that good a punchline. Yeah.
Well, that's all I had.
Oh, you came up with that.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Apparently, it's only been approved in Canada, though.
So it was a Canadian jet. So there you go.
Wasn't it a Delta, but it was a Canadian jet service
maker.
Delta?
Yeah. It's called a Canadian Regional Jet. CRJ. Yeah, you're in the business, Dave. You pick up on this kind of terminology.
The flyboys.
Yeah. Speaking of flyboys, did you know today is the anniversary of John Glenn orbit around the Earth? First man to orbit Earth in 1962.
Was that after the monkey?
I don't think we ever did a monkey. That was what they fought for. They were going to do a monkey, and the astronauts complained.
They said because we're astronauts, and they also wanted a window, right?
Yes, that was the other thing.
Movie.
Yeah, good movie. The Right Stuff. If you're looking for something to watch this weekend, it's a long one, but I've watched it several times. I think it's from like the 80s, isn't it? Early 80s.
Yeah. Hey, weather update. You guys getting this weather winter 2.0?
Yes. It snowed yesterday and today here in the fair city of Charlotte.
In the heartland?
Yeah, it's one of those nice ones because it doesn't stick to the ground, but maybe in the grass a little bit. So it's nice dusting of snow. Looks, and it's pleasant to watch, and so I enjoyed that. However, some bad news. My office was broken into over the weekend
At work or your?
at work, and the burglars decided to use the window behind my desk as their entry point.
Hamas?
Who?
Hamas?
Yeah, that's who's breaking into our office. Yeah, they threw a rock through we have floor to ceiling windows in our office, and they threw a rock through the window behind my chair. So luckily I wasn't there Monday and Tuesday. I was in Florida, so they cleaned up and everything, but they weren't able to replace the window just yet. So I just have a piece of plywood over it, and it's cold up here, man.
Did they take anything?
No one can really, no one noticed anything gone. So, and they think they hit my window because I sit next to the IT department. However, they didn't really lose any, they don't know of any laptops or anything that were stolen. So
Maybe it's someone just trying to get in and out of the cold.
no, because the way the
didn't.
wind, they didn't break, they threw the rock through the window and the hole was jagged, and they never did anything more to open the window further, which would have been very easy. So we're thinking it's just vandalism.
Maybe it was a big bird that flew into the window.
No, because the rock was still on the floor.
Maybe the big bird was carrying a rock.
Well, crows are known to use tools, right? So maybe a crow picked up a big 10-pound
Maybe
rock.
that mockingbird joke didn't go over well.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Coming back at me.
And they formed a bandit, a murderer of crows.
Crows,
FBI.
right. Exactly. So,
All right. Hey, it's Thursday. Tonight's Thursday. Not Wednesday. Last night was my big meeting.
what big meeting?
The big club.
Oh,
The
yeah?
cult, as you say.
The president had to make his presence known.
Hail to the chief.
I think his job as president is just mainly finding someone to attend the meeting, right, to speak.
Yeah, well, today I had some extra duties. We had to do the transfer, the peaceful transfer of power today.
To who?
Well, so I was president last year, and they elected me president again.
Right. I thought it was like a 3-year term anyhow.
No,
Okay. I thought you told us this on the show before.
I might have lied. But anyway, so
That figures.
so the treasurer, our vice president was unseated, and our treasurer from last year has decided he wants to be the vice president. Vice president really doesn't do much. He stands in when I'm not there, and I'm a
Well, yeah. I mean, that's big
yeah,
power.
that's difficult.
Yeah.
And then the fellow that was our secretary moved to treasurer, so I'm already a signer on the bank, and our treasurer is a signer, so he stayed on as vice president. We had to add a guy, so I had to go down there. And
So was it was the vice presidency usurped, or
well, he's a busy guy. He owns a barbecue, one of these champion barbecue guys. They have the big grills. They go all over.
oh, I thought you meant the name champion, but I see what you mean. It competes.
Yeah, he's very successful at it, and he's the guy that found Sam for us.
Oh, okay. Well, found a phone number for him, which he hasn't answered or replied back yet. But
Yeah, so Sam, if you're listening,
be nice to hear from you.
quit stealing all the ladies' luggage and clothing and give us a
Wrong
call.
Sam. Wrong Sam.
Oh, wrong Sam. Sorry.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a bitch
What if
if
it's
it
him?
really was him?
I'd be kind of cool to have a famous friend, right?
Yeah, I know. Actually, I mean,
I think I would tell somebody.
You
"Oh,
know
that's
how
my
many
friend."
questions I would have for Sam if,
Yeah, like, where did this thing go off the rails?
at what point?
Or what were you thinking those pumps with that outfit? I mean, come on.
So, oh well, that's all I got for tonight, Dave.
Okay.
You didn't ask me any questions about Florida, so
Well, I
thanks
live
for
here.
being concerned.
How is it in South Florida or Fort Myers?
Hot. Even this time of year it was 80 degrees and muggy. Yeah, I
So
went to Fort Myers for those listening.
So
So-
where I'm located, it's a 10-degree increment. So you go to Orlando, it's 10 degrees warmer or cooler, depending on the season. And then if you go further south, it's 10 degrees again. So let's say today it is 49 degrees. So in Orlando, it's 59. And where your mother, it's probably 69 right now, 69,
Yeah.
70.
That sounds about right. It's somewhere between 60 and 80, from the nighttime to daytime. So,
Yeah.
it's such a retirement area. Nothing moves. At least in the area I was in, it's just they're in this area of just gargantuan retirement communities, right? I think their development has 9. Well, it's not just retirement. I shouldn't say that. Their development has 900 homes in it.
Wow.
So, but
Are they members of the shower scrunchy scene?
don't think so.
The loofah brigade?
No, sadly, my mother has cancer, and so that's why I was down just visiting. She's in good health as you can be
Right.
for someone with cancer, but no, she doesn't need a scrunchie by any means at this point. So,
Well, that's
any-
good.
well, you can, I'm in, she's in good spirits about it and everything. She's had it for a number of years now, and she's on immunotherapy, which just basically maintains it, right? Keeps it at its, because they can't take it out, and it's in the lung. And so there's not much they can do other than just keep it from growing. So it's not like chemo and radiation, but it takes a little bit to recover from it.
Okay. How
So-
old is she?
83, 84.
Oh, she's up there.
So, yeah. So, like I said, she's doing well. She was, we were able to visit, went out to lunch with her and stuff like that. She has enough energy for that kind of
So-
stuff. My brother was there as well.
I was
So-
gonna say did Barb go down?
No, it was just, it's always tough to get away, right? But so my brother was going, and I said, hey, you know what? I'll just see if I can get down there for a couple of the days while he's there. He's retired now, so his schedule's not quite as.
This is the fellow in California.
Yes.
He's a
So,
big listener, by the way. I checked the stats the other day.
he mentioned that the fact that he listens on a regular basis. So, and he gave us props. So, screw him.
Yeah. What the hell's he got to do with
I
it?
know, right? Like I care.
Like we need an extra listener in California, for God's sakes. We got Vegas sewn up. We don't need to go.
That's right.
JoJo.
Yeah.
We haven't talked to JoJo in a while. I hope Woody's brother. I hope you know we're kidding. We love you and thank you for listening because you're hopefully you've signed up for Chumba Casino. Have you heard the ad recently?
No,
Oh, that's good. You're not listening. That's really the
no,
only
I'm trying to think
page,
what
you
I
know.
have heard recently. I don't think I've gotten Chumba Casino.
We got
in quite some
an
time.
eyeglass company in the Pearl Vision. You get some big time advertisers now. We're
I
not
don't think
messing
Pearl
around.
Vision's up here. We have the one with the owl up here,
Oh yeah.
whatever that one is.
Well,
Like an owl needs glasses. Come on. It's dumb.
Who?
No, an owl. Yeah.
Oh, wow! This show's really taken a riveting turn. But I do want to say something that I think the algorithm, if you will, and I hate to keep using that term, but I think with Spotify, for example, and Spreaker, and I listened on iHeartRadio today. I kind of like that format, iHeartRadio. I think it's owned by Spreaker, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And I followed. You can follow on iHeartRadio. So we have a new follower, by the way,
Oh, really? Who is
on
it?
iHeartRadio. I don't know. Some guy just signed up today on his car ride over to the studio. but-
Pretty cool.
The commercials, I think what they see is we have been what are we, season 8, 6?
5 or 6. Yeah. I don't know which one it is.
So we're 12, 8, 24. Are we 100 yet?
No, we're getting close.
So we're just under 100 episodes and we're consistent every week, right? We produce something pretty much every week. And so I think the advertising people over at Spotify and Spreaker and iHeartRadio look at that and they say, look, we can run ads up against their show and they're consistent. So we're not like a one-off. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to push us into their their circulation.
Oh boy, that's when the big dollars come, right?
I think that's when we get the big break.
Yeah.
And all of our
Well-
friends would be like, "You're like an overnight success." Well, where were you when we were
No, it's
going
3
through
years.
it?
It's actually been 3 years.
I don't
Well,
care. if
speaking
that's-
of that, I want to tell you, we always wait to the end, but man, subscribe, tell some friends, push this app for us, people. We need your help. There's no doubt about it. We
Yeah, we're
don't
not
have an
getting any younger.
advertising, but yeah, we don't have an advertising budget. So it's word of mouth and,
And
steal
Woody
some
never tells
phones.
anybody.
Yeah. What's that?
Woody never tells anybody. So that word of mouth thing's not working on his side.
I guess, yeah, that you'd actually have to tell somebody. Hey, we did pick up a new subscriber this week on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was at someone else's house and I said, hey, look, they have YouTube.
Wait, your mother's watching
Yeah.
now?
I made them watch an
God
episode.
bless Woody's mom.
I had to.
Does she doesn't know, does she?
What was kind of funny was, she's like, you say something. She goes, well, why didn't I know about that? I'm like, well, if you'd listen to the podcast, you'd know all these things because I blurred them out. And because I had told her how I talked about my grandmother's funeral with my son throwing the dirt clod in there. So
Yeah. Hi, Woody's
anyhow.
mom.
there you go.
I don't know if I ever met your mom, did I? Back in the
Well,
day?
Who
No, I think
knows?
so. But
She
you
didn't remember
remember
you by any means, but
Oh, that's great. Thanks.
yeah. Well, you're a pretty unforgettable person.
You're saying she would have remembered me.
I think
Probably.
so.
I don't
I
think she
think
ever
so.
came to you. Did she ever come to UCF?
A couple times, but not very often. Maybe for a night for dinner or something like that,
Bail
passing
you out,
through
that
or
kinda
something.
stuff.
Yeah, I went to her house to get bailed out.
No, that makes
So.
sense.
Yeah.
All right. So you got something? Because I got a couple things that are.
Well, go first.
So in the morning, some of you folks know that I'm an educator. I'm a teacher, and I don't like to talk too much about the job because we're not supposed to for some reason. I don't know why, but I have morning duty.
Yeah, you do.
Sometimes I call it the morning constitution, but this I actually have to stand on a post, if you will, at a certain part of campus to watch the kids, and so everybody knows what I'm talking about. So I've got a fellow that I share the post with, an older gentleman, and he's turned out to be kind of a good buddy, a good friend, and he's our guardian. I don't know if I can say that or not. He might listen to the show. You know what the guardian is?
Oh, you mean what the definition of a guardian is, or
on our campus?
I would assume the patrol officer or a resource officer or something.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. So he's armed, he's packing, and so every
He's
day,
packing the heat,
every
man.
morning I leave him and I say, "Okay, don't do your job today." But anyway, so we were talking. He's a former science teacher, like a physics or science teacher, believe it or not. And I said, "What?"
I was gonna say, you ever ask him have you ever shot a kid? That's what I'd ask him.
No, see, that's not appropriate, Woody. Anyway, he is qualified though.
Okay.
So, what is the opposite of inert?
Aggressive?
Well, it's funny because you know how you say stuff and you're thinking before. Here comes Dave's joke telling. It's horrible. You know how you say stuff in your head, you're already thinking the answer, but you don't say it out loud because you're hoping maybe the other guy will get it or not. So I've already got what I want to say in my head, even though I'm the guy leading the conversation. I said, "So you're a science guy, Bob. What's this opposite of inert?" And he looks at me and he goes, "I don't know, nert."
Eh.
I think inert means active.
And non-reactive, I thought.
The N is yeah. Okay, that was
the whole story?
that was dead.
Move on.
Yeah. I've been watching Norm Facebook Reels. Norm Canadian
McDonald?
yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
What if there was a Facebook page dedicated to Norm Macdonald? He's actually, he's dead, right?
Yes.
I regret. I always knew Norm Macdonald. I mean, we didn't meet personally, but I regret not paying more attention to him. He's a guy that I really never gave much credit. Maybe I didn't get him, but he's kind
Yeah,
of
he was tough to get at first, but looking back, his jokes have grown. I think his jokes are funnier now than they were in the time he told them.
well, I think he remember I've talked about Steve Martin before and how Steve I didn't get him early on. I always thought he was kind of stupid, but and as I got older, I understood what he was doing better and I liked it. And I think Norm is kind of in that category. I think and maybe he was a Steve Martin fan. I don't know, but I wish, in hindsight, I don't lose a lot of sleep over it. But I wish I'd have paid attention to him more. And I don't know that we had a medium in which we could do that. You know, now that we've got this Facebook thing, some guys out there trying
You
to
had to
round
buy
ball
their
up.
comedy album and listen to it. Yeah, there was no place other than going to the comedy stores themselves or the bars, whatever, to listen to them or buy a ticket. You had to buy their albums to listen to their stuff.
He was kind of somewhere between Steve Martin and what was the guy that was on Taxi that got into wrestling?
Oh, yeah, Latka was his character name.
Yeah,
Andy,
yeah,
it was Andy something.
yeah. So he wasn't quite that far like Andy was, but he has this bit he does about
Oh,
O.J.
Andy
Simpson.
Kaufman.
Yeah. Have you heard McDonald talk about O.J. Simpson?
Well, that's how he got fired from SNL because they told him to stop doing O.J. Simpson jokes, and he was doing the news segment every week, and every week he slipped in an O.J. Simpson.
That stuff was brilliant, you know, and he did it so deadpan, you know, you couldn't see it coming. It was like, oh yeah,
And that's the
O.J.
ones when I see him, they're hilarious watching him do the news
Yeah, he
anchor.
killed his girlfriend. Yeah, you remember that guy? Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to go on that show because that guy killed his girlfriend. Yeah, that stuff's just hilarious.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
he never
wish I
drove a
paid-
car. He didn't
Huh?
know how to drive.
He didn't?
No, he was an odd bird in and himself, but
Canadian.
oh yeah, well maybe that's why. What's Canadian got to do with not
I don't
driving?
know.
Oh, okay.
I have a different definition for Canadian. I can't say it on the radio, but I use I'm gonna be careful. Some of my friends that may listen to this will
Think different of you.
no, I can't say it is the thing.
right.
Anyway, let's move on. I'll tell you off the air. Maybe the after show. Hey, the after show. Go over to
Hey, now.
X, formerly known as Twitter, and we go on the after party. Catch us at Dave and Woody Pod. Is that what it is?
I don't know. You're the one who puts it up.
What the hell
Maybe
is
I
that?
should look at that.
It's on X.
Well, it gets listed on the YouTube one
Yeah, but that
on the
doesn't help us.
screen.
I keep saying it like this is live. People are listening right now. And then when we talk about it right now, when it finally goes to air, they're going to be going over to X like, where are these guys? All right. I think the beer's talking.
Oh, that's right. Dave's having a beer tonight out of
No,
his 6-pack of. He had a beer
Yeah,
tonight
it's clear gone
in
empty.
the Sigmachi glass.
Sigmachi.
Yeah, you see, they're starting an alumni club for you down there in Orlando.
Don't they have one?
Apparently, it fell apart from.
Melnick running it right in the ground.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It's a lot of it's so difficult to do a social event that's regular. Well, doing your club thing there every week. Because everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got, you just can't please enough people to keep it going, and it grinds on you. So,
well, here's the problem, and this is what we've discovered. Unless you're of the age where you're, let's say, 30 to 50, where you're out there trying to build a business, trying to grow your network, then you got that crowd that comes. They'll do it every week. They'll do it 3 times a week if they can, because they're looking to build a business. But then you get to 45, 50, and you're like, my kids, I've got a business. I'm pretty comfortable. I don't need to spend the time into building the network anymore. It's kind of building itself, kind of referrals and that sort of stuff. And so you pull back off that scene. So you get to handpick and select where you want to go. Then you get to my age, at 60 and you're like, I don't give a damn anymore. The hell with you people. I'm going to go when I want to go.
Right.
And so that's why when I look out over the room, like last night's meeting, a lot of familiar faces, but they're all 60 years old and up because they got nothing else to do. And their wives are like, don't you have someplace to go? Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of the house kind of thing.
So we get a good meal, a nice glass of, vino, and we talk, commiserate about the old times. So that's what you're up against. And the Sigma Chi thing, you're right in the sweet spot. Those guys have graduated, obviously they're alum, and they're out there trying to make a living, and they're not going to be able to suck the alumni for business, and so they spend their time somewhere else. It's challenging. Apparently,
Well, best of luck to you, buddy.
yeah. Apparently, the chains.
Starting the alumni chapter.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Chains of Brotherhood. Nah, I don't know. You know what I
Uh,
remember? Do you remember the guy from 60 Minutes? What was the crazy guy that had the editorial he did? He wasn't a news piece, but he was a writer, and they would cut to him and they would say he was an old salty. He's a Sig, white-haired, older, got curmudgeon on 60 Minutes.
oh, yeah, Andy Rooney.
Andy Rooney. When I was a kid in high school, I remember watching him, and he went on. He was a Sig, and I didn't know what Sigma Chi
I didn't
was.
think I knew that either.
And he went off on this bit about his fraternity, and I can see it like it was yesterday. And basically, he said, you know how he had that kind of questionable way.
You
he
ever
did
wonder
things?
why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he goes, you ever wonder why your fraternity keeps sending you these stupid pieces of mail and they're asking you for more involvement and to give you some more money? And he was basically like slamming Sigma Chi and saying, just quit sending me the stuff. I'm not going to do this. Leave me alone. And I didn't know I didn't know anything about it. And I kept thinking to myself, this guy's horrible. I mean, what is this organization he's talking about? But now that I'm a little older,
Yeah,
I
always
get it, but
I find it funny. I did I got a master's in business at Wake Forest University, and I find it. I always found it ironic that they're always looking for money. I'm like, shouldn't every MBA program be profitable? Why do you have to go out and ask for money constantly? And I never get giving back to. I just dropped 50K at your university, and now you want more money. I never understand that.
yeah, I never really bought into that either. I get those finance guys calling me, "Hey, Mr. Thenis, looks like you're a finance major here at UCF. Yeah, can you cut us a couple checks to send our way?" No, I really can't.
No.
That defies the whole concept of finance.
See, part of the problem is you cash the original checks I sent to you. So
and they cleared. So
right,
we're done.
So I think we've paid homage to each other at this point.
Yeah.
It is Dave and Woody Pod on the @ Dave and Woody Pod on
For
the
X.
On X. Yes, I just double checked.
All right, so let me clean something up because I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get hate mail. I gotta check that, by the way. So the Sigma Chi, I love you guys, first of all. So I'm not going down the Andy Rooney path. I just was taken aback. I didn't know who Sigma Chi was, and this guy Andy Rooney was just going off the rails on. And if you listeners can remember that when you were kids, weigh in the comments below and make sure you say something.
Pass some knowledge along.
But that is the challenge when you start an alumni group. You got a bunch of people somewhere between trying to build a network and start a family, and people only have so much time and space and energy. Okay, checking the email real quick.
Okay, and while you're doing that, I'll ask you a question. On your commute to and from work, do you run into a lot of traffic?
My commute is 1 mile.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Turn left, turn right, turn left.
Man, do you walk to school? Do you walk to work?
Well, I kept saying I was going to do that, and then I said no.
It turns out I didn't mean it.
Yeah, we don't live in a walking society. A lot of people start pulling off the side of the road. Hey, do you need a ride? You okay?
Oh, yeah. And or there's nowhere to walk safely.
Well, we have sidewalks, and they're nice.
All right. Well,
Okay,
you
wait a
really don't
minute.
have a reason then.
Well, I thought about riding my bike. I'm not going to do that. Then I thought about walking, and think about it. It's a 15, if you're clicking along pretty good at 4 miles an hour, you do it in 15 minutes, right? So I'm not going to do that. But let's say I took a leisurely walk, it would take me 30 minutes. What else could I fit in, do you think, in the morning on the way to school? What are you thinking?
Dropping the kids off at the pool. I don't know. You're the one who said
You can't do that while you're walking to school.
Well, you said what else? I thought you meant what could you do in place of that 30
No.
minutes?
So what other activity could I be doing while I'm walking to school?
You could be listening to a podcast.
That I could do that too, but what
The
else?
Dave and Woody show, smoke a cigar.
Smoking a cigar. So I could pack a backpack, have a coffee container, and a medium-sized cigar, and burn one on the way to school.
Some Karen would pull out. You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
smoke that within 2 miles of a school or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's a tobacco-free zone, so I don't think that's going to go over very well.
Well, you could on the way to work as long as you finished it, right?
On the way home.
Well, the problem is on the way home, you'd have to bring it on campus.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's illegal, and Dave would not ever do that.
Right. So you're kind of, well, you could just leave it outside, at the
In
closest.
the bushes,
Yes. Yes.
where all the cameras can see me concealing stuff in the bushes.
Or it's
No,
like, why is Dave going in the bush every afternoon?
he's going to spend a lot of time in the viburnum. Okay, we did get an email. It says the headline is, "We've predicted your We Can Help with Dave and Woody audience. How did we do?" It's, "Hi David, I hope you've had a lovely week. Thank God it's Friday. I'm Abhishek, co-founder and CEO of Number 8, an ID-less data platform that predicts podcast audience demographics to improve podcast monetization and content programming." Oh, here is our demographic predictions for your audience. Hey, gender, male.
Male.
Is 64%, 36% female.
Get out of here. No way. He's
That's
wrong.
what it says. Under 18, 7%, 18 to 24, 16, 25 to 34, 30, and 35 to 44, 23. Then we drop off at 45 to 54 is 12, 55 to 64 is 7, and 65 and above is 5. To participate, simply open Spotify for creators or your preferred analytics dashboard. Oh, I need to look into that. I thought this was one of these people from
Want to sell me.
Bangladesh
sell us.
or something.
Oh.
No, it looks like they're from Union Street, London. Abhishek Sen is the guy's name.
We can have our chief of production stop by.
Yeah, 180 Union Street, Studio.
Oh, yeah.
1.
I know that place.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It says 401 London, but then that's bull because there's no postal code. Oh, wait, here's a map. Oh, SE1 OLH UK. So SE1 is right in the city.
Okay.
Right above the Radical Storage luggage store. That's where his office is.
Wow. All right. This guy's a big time in it.
Yeah, what is this? Is that the Victoria Station? Premier in London, Southwark Tate. All right, we're rambling.
Yes, you are. The reason I was asking you about traffic, which apparently you don't get into, is how I've grown to be more and more annoyed with drivers in this day and age. And a couple of things that bother me. So you're in rush hour traffic, right? Bumper to bumper. What gives with the person who stops 3-4 car lengths back from the car in front of them?
So that's a tell. They're on their cell phone.
I'll have to check and see, because what annoys me is like, so you're coming down the right, and you're in the right lane, and you're going to make a right turn at the next light, and this clown stops 3 cars back, preventing the line from moving up far enough where you can get into the right-hand turn lane, right? And you park there. And what I'll usually do is put I'll move over as far as I can to the right against the bumper so they see me in that mirror like it's my full front. And they just sit there. Like, no, I'm not moving up for you.
Well, there's a lot of that, how dare you think you're getting ahead of me stuff going on. I don't know. I'm not as a vigilante as I used to be in the traffic.
You have the car for it too.
Well, I've always had a car. My attitude is, I really don't care. This thing's
Right.
paid for. I'm going to hit you, and you're going to lose.
You could drive. I always like the cabs and taxis in New York City have like cow catchers on the front
Yeah.
because they bang around so much.
I don't know. My Hyundai is not as tough as you think it is.
Yeah, but you don't mind if it gets scratched.
No, I was in the parking lot the other day at a restaurant, and I pulled in, and there was exactly the same car as I have, same year, I think, and everything, same color, and the paint, same thing's happening.
Peeling,
The
clear
gel
coat.
coat stuff or whatever that
Yeah,
stuff
the
is.
clear coat's peeling
Yeah,
off.
it's coming off in the same spots around the front of the headlights, around the back of the bumper. I wish I could have had a chance to talk to the guy and said, what a POS this is, huh?
Yeah, but they all do that. All cars do that eventually. Once you let that clear coat go, it's like opening a taut plastic bag. It starts tearing. It's
Yeah. So is that really what makes your car shiny? Is that clear coat piece, that piece of plastic over the paint?
No, it's polishing is what does it. And but it's
Yeah, but what are you polishing? You're not polishing.
you're
paint?
polishing the clear coat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
weird.
or whatever the
Because
top
it's
is. But yeah.
dull underneath it. It's just red. It's not really.
Well, yeah, because it's obviously you've never polished it.
Yeah, I
So
don't wash
you
the
can
car.
polish the paint level. The problem is that's so thin and
I'll be down
any
the
kind
metal.
of abrasive on it usually goes right through it. So that's why you put a clear coat on and then you polish the clear coat.
Have you seen these guys that get these older cars, and it's not they paint the car this patina color.
Yeah, so it looks like it's rusting through.
Yeah, I love that. That's so
Why?
cool.
So
Huh?
would you buy a brand new car painted with patina?
No, it has to be an older car. I'd love to get like an old Ford pickup. And
That's
have
what
that
most
done.
people do it on is pickup trucks. Yeah.
It's really cool looking.
Yeah, you got to pay a mint to get that look that it hasn't been taken care of, which is odd.
Well, it's kind of like buying jeans that have holes in them. I don't wear those, but I'm just saying it's the same mentality.
Yeah, I used to buy the jeans because it's a lot of work to get to that point, right? So
you bought those jeans like that, you personally?
Yeah, back in
Did you ever have your
college
did your
days.
stuff ever hang out or something?
Well, I mean, I might be bragging, but sure, Dave, all the time.
That's not my pockets, girl.
It's a common problem.
Yeah,
you don't have that same problem.
That's not my keychain. All right. Anyway, that's the beer talking, folks.
Well, we got 10 minutes left, so the beer's got to keep talking.
I thought we were there. Yeah.
So, you sent an article out. Was it about your traffic company you invest in?
Yeah.
So what would they're going overseas to make money now?
Well, yeah, they just landed a patent on their AI stuff, their predictability stuff they do over in Europe. And apparently the Europeans drive as well in traffic. And so
yeah, I'm going to sell the same thing, between like 4:30 and 6:30 around here, I predict traffic's going to get really bad.
That's not AI. That's
Oh.
me. So, I told you, not a stock update, but kind of, I told you I picked 4 stocks and I was going to deploy a buy and hold strategy. And I did a lot of research and found these stocks that did well during the first Trump administration. And it seemed like it made logical sense that they would, feel the new administration, and they would rebound as well. And so, this one Recor that we're talking about is part of that. It's been very challenging. I am a buy and hold guy forever, and my portfolio, besides what we're doing, has been buy and hold. Of course, I had 30 years to build it. But I so want to, I've missed a couple runs. I've missed a couple where I could make $1,000 and sell it and come back. And I keep saying, no, don't sell it. I got to hang on.
Well, that's the problem. Trying to time it like you is you have to do that if you really want to succeed, right?
Well, so for the people in the back of the room, what I did is I put together a spreadsheet, and I said I'm gonna guesstimate a 20% return over 3 months, and every 3 months I'm going to multiply out by 1.20. It ends up being more than 40% on an annual basis. And then I set up another chart and said, well, let's make it grow at 1.23. Well, my prediction of where I'll be March 1st, I'm 128% to goal. So I'm already March, April, May, June. So I'm ahead of June's number by just sitting still. And so one part of me says I should sell and make up the spread. You know what I mean? But I'm already trajectory wise, I'm ahead of June where I should be in my model for June. So I'm staying. What I think is going to happen though is I have not invested any more money. So we keep banging up against $14,000. We ran almost to 14,000 the other day, then it dropped off to 13.5. But I'm still ahead. I'm 120% to goal. But I think again, what I think is going to happen is we're going to have to throw some more money at it and find some other investments to keep climbing. I don't know. I'm not.
Well, let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. It's been fun, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing.
So, did you watch the Daytona 500? I forgot that was on last Sunday.
Yeah, I watched. I saw him fly over. You know, I figured you were like, oh God, this guy's going to run my damn race. He likes flying low over with a big plane like that.
That I would whatever.
I heard your buddy Bush about killed him, didn't it? Didn't Bush get in a bad wreck?
Well, just about everybody did near the end there, but because it's pack racing, right? And that track, one, they're doing 80, somewhere around 180, 190 miles an hour, and they're 3 cars wide, 10 rows deep, and it's the amount of air moving around gets those cars so light on their wheels that the steering has
floating.
Yeah, they're essentially floating down the speedway, and so any reactive move or anything just bangs the car next to them, which then bangs the next one, and before you know it, they're all spitting out. So to do that for 2.5, 3 hours is incredibly hard to do, maintain that kind of focus over that length of time. So yeah, I just about everybody but William Byron, the winner, gotten some sort of altercation throughout at some point in that race. But every time your buddy shows up, the race is delayed. So it on par once again. I had plans because I didn't fly out to Florida. I flew on Sunday and I was leaving at 8:00 at night. So I'm like, I'll watch the race and I'll just go to the airport. So when you said it was bourbon time, I'm like, I guess I can't because I was driving myself to the airport. But so needless to say, what they do, 11 laps, and then it went into a rain delay.
Yeah, and you can't control the rain, but no, I get your point though.
Right. So I get to the airport and I walk by the only bar I could find that even had it on the screen. There was just one in the airport. So I went in and enjoyed a nice $15 beer while I watched the first stage of the Daytona 500. So it's just ridiculous what they soak you for in places like that. It seems illegal to some degree.
Well, it's a bit of a controlled audience. Yeah.
Yeah, and the lady next to me had a margarita, and that's what kind of started the conversation. She said her margarita, $23 for a margarita.
Brand.
Yeah, and I said, well, at least you could put it on expense account. She's like, nope, no alcohol on the expense account. I'm like, that's too bad then. So, and I said, well, this was 50, with tip. Mine was 15. It was $12. I gave her a $3 tip or something like that for the beer. So I enjoyed the stage 1 live in the Charlotte airport, and then watched the rest of it the next day. My mom was kind enough to tape it for me. So, but I already knew the winner at that point.
Did they run that day, later that day?
Mm-hmm. They didn't finish. I guess it would have finished around 11 o'clock or so, I would think.
Crazy. I don't know how they do that.
It is. So that just adds to the whole thing about driving that close for that long and maintaining a
Because
conversation.
they got to get it. It's not like they can take the delay. They got to get it in because they got other races they got to load up and get to.
Right, but they'll sometimes push it to the next day, but they know they lose the audience and everything
Yeah.
else in that matter. So,
So, you know, our buddy Tim Melnick,
yeah, he was there.
he was there. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think it's somewhat of a tradition with his dad.
It seemed to be because
brother.
there's a whole bunch of people. So thanks for inviting me, Tim. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I didn't get the call.
Yeah, all these years I've been going to the Daytona 500 and not once.
He doesn't
you
like
let me
you,
know.
Woody. I mean, let's just be honest with each other.
He doesn't like me. Is that what she said? Yeah.
There's a long list of people that don't like you. I'm on that list, quite frankly.
Are you really? it's
Trying
getting
to
worse
review
every week.
Jonah, so it didn't really matter.
So,
No love lost with me.
well, you ready to say goodnight?
Yeah, I just pushed it out to X that join us at 8:00, by the way. So we're locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get out of here because I'm sick and tired of it. Maybe we'll get I'm gonna go get another beer. and
All
we're gonna go-
right.
we're gonna go over to X. It's Thursday.
All day.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
All
I had a
well,
number of beers
listen,
this week. So
Subscribe to us over on not Facebook. What the hell am I doing?
the YouTube.
YouTube, that YouTube thing. So
Yeah.
Hit the button, subscribe.
Favorite
now.
us on your favorite podcast app.
Huh?
I said favorite us on your favorite podcast app.
Oh, and I listened to iHeartRadio today. That was a nice little platform. Okay,
Do you heart Dave?
I'm not doing that. All right, good night. Guard well the honor of the cross, and may the chains of brotherhood never be broken. In hoke.
Would you hit the button already?
Oh yeah, that's right. Bye.